Billiken Comfort Dealer. Now the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Yes, it is. With Chris Rongey, I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producers are Drew Young and Frank Ladd, and our audience is you. And we thank you for joining us always. It's a busy week on KMOX. Let's get right to it. Orlando, Florida, Major League Baseball winter meetings, and Matt Pauley is back again. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. It's there's a lot of activity going on right now. About maybe 20 yards to my right, Oliver Marmol's doing the Foul Territory show right now with former Cardinal A.J. Brzezinski. So just a lot of people moving around, but nothing really of substance quite yet.
That is Gashouse Gang member Ollie Marmol.
That's right.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
Every Tuesday during the season.
They should put that in the graphic. Gashouse Gang, Tuesdays, 12:05 p.m. Central.
It better be, or I'll raise some hell.
I found it interesting, one of your reports this morning, you made the point, well, Chaim made the point, and you accentuated it. Don't expect fireworks necessarily this week from the Cardinals. It doesn't mean when you walk out of here without trades that you haven't done a good job. The whole point is to meet people and get ready for what is going to be a busy offseason of activity. Actually already is, Matt, to some extent for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's you don't have to get something done in these 3 days for it to be successful. There's a lot of conversations that will take place. I keep making the point that I think that Sonny Gray trade was largely based out of conversations that occurred at the GM meetings. Well, that trade didn't happen at the GM meeting. So I think we can all hope, because there's a spotlight on the game right now, we can all hope that things do happen and the trades do pop off, and that you get far enough along in things. But if we walk out of here 3 days from now and the roster looks exactly the same, I don't think that makes it a failure of a 3 days.
I know that you might have to pop off here very quickly if Oliver Marmol starts to speak and becomes available, so we just wanted to prepare people for that. And you did talk with us on the Chris and Amy show about an hour ago, and I know that the expectation for the winter meetings is not great, in that we expect all these different moves are going to be made, but it seems pretty universally true that most people think the same guys we've been talking about are going to get dealt, or they will try. Arenado, that he seems to be the number one. That's the guy they would like to move the most. It doesn't mean he's going to be the first one to go, though, Matt.
Yeah, and I think if I had to guess who's the first one going to go, it's going to be either Brendan Donovan or JoJo Romero. Actually, I was just talking with Harold Reynolds from MLB Network about 15 minutes ago, and I asked him, you know all the players that the Cardinals have on the trade market. If you are running a team and you can choose one, which one would you choose? And before I could even finish asking the question, he jumped in and said Brendan Donovan. He's a guy who can do so much for you. And that's why we've heard that upwards of 20-plus teams have inquired about Donovan. I think Romero's a guy that's going to continue to have some value, and just a veteran lefty out of the bullpen. So right now I think those two guys are the guys that likely move first, and then I think I would probably throw Wilson Contreras in there as well. There's going to be some legitimate interest, and as long as he's willing to waive his no-trade clause, which the indications lately are that he is, I think those three guys are the guys that have the highest likelihood of moving in the shortest amount of time.
Well, based on this fan's tweet that tagged us all, then we don't like anybody who is going to be traded. We're trying to move people, Matt. I just find it funny that and what I'm referring to, I don't miss much, Matt, as you know. I saw that somebody popped you for saying that you had a disdain for Arenado because you were trying to trade him. I mean, look, can you explain to people the business that we're talking about here and the separation of emotion? Everybody, I mean everybody, respects Nolan Arenado and what he has done. It doesn't mean that you don't like him. You're trying to build a franchise, for crying out loud. Anyway.
Yeah, I got frustrated by that tweet at me today because they said how much I disliked Arenado. Nolan Arenado has been one of my favorite players, like human beings, to cover, and then from a player standpoint, he's been one of my favorite players to watch play. He is a Hall of Famer in every possible way. But we're at a point right now where, first off, let's think about Arenado. let's give him an opportunity to go play for something that really matters, because this team is not contending for a World Series this year. Give him a better shot. And then from a Cardinals standpoint, you open up third base and you're going to give other people an opportunity to show what they can do. Maybe that's Nolan Gorman, maybe it's not. Maybe J.J. Weatherholt ends up at third base in some crazy situation. But whatever it might be, him holding on at third base and taking those reps and taking those games and doing all that, it doesn't make the Cardinals better in the future. It might make them a little bit, does it make them a better club and a more entertaining club right now? Yes, I'm not arguing against that. But right now, it's not about right now. It is about how does this team get to contending at the highest level and once again contending for a World Series, and you get there sooner by clearing out third base now.
As you mentioned, Oliver Marmol's not too far from you, and he's conducting an interview. And, you've been on the Gashouse gang. You have done Sports Open Line. You've taken phone calls about him as a manager, about the coaching staff and people not happy with the way things have gone, and direct that at him. But we know the coaching staff, for the most part, is coming back in 2026. Is this the right coaching staff, do you believe, to help move them forward once they do continue this rebuild process?
I think it is. I think there's a lot of guys on this staff, including Marmol, but you look at Stubby Clapp and Pop Warner. I mean, some of the best instructors in the Cardinals organization are on the Major League coaching staff. So when you do have a lot of young guys coming forward, this is the right group. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately about, is it time to give Ollie an extension because you don't want the lame duck situation. I'm not as all in on that. I kind of want to see what it looks like with Ollie and Heim working together for a little while long. And they've been together, but not in the role of president of baseball operations and team manager. But I'm a big believer in Oliver Marmol. I'm a big believer in this coaching staff, and I'm excited to see what he can do with this group as they move forward, even if the aspirations this year are a little bit lower.
Lauren wants to know if you're going to have a summary of all of Ollie's talks on one Redbird Rush Hour. What a great lead-in, Lauren, to our programming later today.
Yeah, so here's what will go down tonight. So we'll talk with Ollie this afternoon, and we'll probably run a bunch of that audio during Sports Open Line. Heim Bloom will speak tonight. He's going to speak right before Rush Hour Sports starts, so I probably won't have time to actually turn that audio in time for that, but we'll certainly go through. I'll relay everything that was said. So between Rush Hour Sports 5 to 6 and then Sports Open Line tonight 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, everything of note that is said by either Oliver Marmol or Heim Bloom will be at least played or repeated here on KMOX.
I've got a question about what else might happen at these winter meetings, even if it has nothing to do with the Cardinals. Did see the report from Ken Rosenthal that the Pirates offered a 4-year contract to Kyle Schwarber. Is that just a token offer? Is it a serious offer? What do you think the Pirates are doing?
I don't know. I guess give them credit. They haven't signed a free agent to a multi-year contract in like 10 years or something. It's mind-blowing how long it's been since they've given a free agent a multi-year deal. I don't think he would go to Pittsburgh in the first place. I appreciate the Pirates maybe trying to show their fans they actually care, but I also, in part, I wonder, is this something that they're doing just to is it just lip service more than anything else, as opposed to it being a real thing? Because nobody expects him to go to Pittsburgh. If you're the Pirates and you want to build and you want to bring in free agents, don't shoot for somebody that you have no shot at. Try to build your team in a more appropriate manner and give a multi-year deal to somebody who will actually accept it. So I don't know. I've got kind of a jaded look on that because you want to appreciate them doing that, but it just doesn't seem like it's anything that's going to bear fruit.
And there's been some speculation that even the Reds could end up with him. And we're really talking about the division here. I don't think he ends up in Cincinnati, but maybe. And then also the Cubs might have some interest in him. So do you think it's possible? Well, certainly it's possible. Is it likely Schwarber ends up back in this division?
I guess it's possible. I don't buy the Pittsburgh thing. Maybe I buy the Cincinnati thing just a little bit more. And he's been connected to the Reds in some form or fashion for a few months now. I don't know how much of that is fan driven and how much it is reality. But I have a hard time believing he's going to end up in Cincinnati. Does a Chicago reunion make sense? I don't know what Chicago's doing, because they bring in Kyle Tucker and they gave up a lot for Tucker, and now it seems like they're not even in the Tucker sweepstakes right now. So if I'm the Cubs, I'd rather be all in on Tucker than somebody else. It's a weird division. The Brewers aren't going to add. I was just talking to some of my friends from Milwaukee a little while ago. The expectation is that Freddie Peralta is going to get traded away. That just, even as good as the Brewers have been, they can't go away from their mode of moving on from guys who are coming up on free agency to try to, bring in more players. So this division's in a really, really weird spot now. And I think if there's one group to be really upset, it's Cubs fans, because the division has never been more for the taking. The Cubs clearly have more financial resources than any other team in the NL Central, and that group just continues to largely sit on their hands.
The reason that Schwarber is being connected to the Reds is my man, the former Indiana Hoosier, the IU alum, is from Middletown, Ohio, Cincinnati suburb, and that's what's fueling all of that, as people are making that connection, thinking he's going to go with the hometown team and he's going to try to revive the Reds. I could see that theory, but this is a business. That's what it comes down to. Look at Aaron Dodson. So I've always wanted Aaron to come up with something constructive.
This is listener Aaron.
Listener Aaron he recycles his material over and over. He's actually come up with something constructive here for me to chew on, which is, I have no problem with Ollie. Well, that surprised me, actually. He said the super slow development of prospects like Gorman, Walker, Flaherty, Reyes, O'Neill, Carlson. Says he has little to no faith in others working out, basically under Marmol's watch. What's your response to that, Matt Pauley?
My response is that much of that is connected to the Cardinals' absolute lack of giving players the opportunity to become the best version of themselves in the minor leagues, because they didn't have the coaches, they didn't have the infrastructure, they didn't have the technology, they didn't have any of that. I don't put that. I'm not just trying to be a shill for Oliver Marmol. I'm really not. But if you want to talk about players not being ready for the big leagues when they get to the big leagues, and I realize development continues at the big league level and the staff has something to do with that, but man, oh man, oh man, when these guys are not ready and they don't look ready and the development stalls a little bit, I put more of the blame on organizationally what has happened in the minor league system.
Without question.
And on that note, I think Ollie's about to walk over here, so I'm going to let you guys go.
Do that, and you're 100% right. You do not learn the fundamentals at this level. You learn them at the minor league level. That's how it's done. We're going to take a break. Thanks to Matt Pauley for joining us from the winter meetings.
And sorry, Tom, the Cardinals, it appears they are making a lot of progress when it comes to that, and we're not going to see the fruits of what they've done at the minor league level for a while. It's going to take some time, but they've made it a focus.
Yeah, that is true. At the major league level, you won't, but you will see, and you're starting to see a little bit here and there. Bryson Mott's one of those who they turned around in a year. He came in with a 5+ ERA. He's now their minor league pitcher of the year. They started to apply some of what they're doing down in the minor league system to him and to others. I do think that you folks who are closer to it than we are, even in Palm Beach, Peoria, Springfield, Memphis, you're going to see it firsthand. And you're going to see these players and what they're doing right in front of you. So I would maybe think about being our eyes and ears and being part of the Gashouse gang. If you want to be part of this show, we welcome you in.
You're not getting paid.
No.
You're just you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart.
You're going to have the fame of being on our comment line, and you can tell us what you're seeing down there during the minor league season. We would welcome that. We're going to be all over Jupiter. Matt will be there from the first throw of a baseball out of pitchers and catchers. I'll be there for the last 2+ weeks watching the final cuts be made and the final games go down in the Grapefruit League before they turn this thing into a big league season. Folks, keep your expectations to that level. This is about development. Don't start getting me into the Cardinals could surprise or the Cardinals could be competitive. The Cardinals are going to try to be a superpower down the road. Not now, not next year. I'm talking 28, 29. That's the goal.
Okay, but hear me out, Tom.
Yeah.
You just heard Matt Pauley say the Cubs don't even seem to be interested in trying.
Oh, yep.
The Reds aren't signing anybody. Pirates, come on. 4 years for Schwarber? Stop. Brewers are trading people away. What if?
No.
What if, Tom?
No, this division
Tom.
is not for the taking.
Let's go, Tom.
This is a franchise that needs to. Absolutely not.
2026 Redbird surprise.
You guys, this is a big picture. Come on. This is a long play. This is a franchise that needed to do this. They had to do it. You got to tear this thing down to the studs. Keep, of course, all of the important materials that you need to build, and that would be your pitching prospects, your super prospects coming up, some of the guys that you still like that are controllable, your staff to build the thing back together, your front office, which Heimblum has rearranged, and you take this thing and you go and build an absolute palace, and you do it that it'll never be torn down again. That's what you have to do.
Texter says Schwarber to St. Louis. Now we're talking. Let's go. Yeah.
See,
thanks to the text line.
I'm just not getting down all that stuff. I'm not down with that. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Bob Ramsey at 12:30, but Chris and I come back with a little bit more of the Gashouse gang, and we've got some football to talk about as well, man. Baby.
Well, I'm not talking football. I'm done.
Back in a moment on KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Known to listeners as the Big Bumper, Jim White turned KMOX's overnight hours into one of the most distinctive shows in American radio. Starting in 1969, his sharp wit, curiosity, and conversational style made late-night listeners feel like they were part of an exclusive club, where the phones never stopped ringing and the stories flowed freely.
I'm Jim White. I am that which goes bump in the night.
I'm kind of scared to say what I have to say. Okay.
No, I just hung up on the last guy because, never mind why I hung up on it. Monday through Friday, the night side, on KMOX, St. Louis.
Jim's warmth and personality created a loyal community that spanned decades, proving that even in the quietest hours, KMOX was alive, connected, and always listening. Jim White, a KMOX pioneer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. Join the team trusted here since 1926. Apply today, get a call today. No experience necessary. We will train motivated applicants to repair and install garage doors. Mechanical, carpentry, and service industry experience is a plus. Hiring bonus up to $4,000. Benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Earn as you learn to service the best garage door customers in St. Louis. Apply today at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead. On your terms, text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Matt wants to know, Bernie keeps saying that it isn't a full teardown, that they're not tearing it down to the studs. Which is it? What, do I have to agree with everything Bernie says? Are we supposed to be like holding hands?
Only when he's on the show with us.
No.
But now you can disagree with him.
Well, I can disagree with it. I can do whatever I want. And so, by the way, nobody is saying that, like, this is that everybody's going to go. I just said they're going to tear it down, but they're going to keep the materials that they need. Pitching. They're going to keep the players who are controllable. I mean, it's a complete rebuild. What else do you want to know?
It might be a semantics thing at this point, because if you're trading away most of what can be traded, that's a rebuild. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it a massive rebuild or a minor rebuild, but they are. This isn't a retool. A retool is what you do when you think your team's pretty good and you make a tweak here or there. That's not what they're doing. This is a rebuild. And it's okay to call it that. It's not an insult.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and as long as they're not half-assing this, and I don't feel like they are, I feel like they are, it seems like they want to do it the right way. And I hope this offseason, by the end of it, they have made more than just a Sonny Gray trade. I hope they've done more in the way of acquiring young talent that can hopefully contribute, because that's the whole idea of a rebuild. Now, to some people, what they hear when they hear the word rebuild, it is you trade that guy who's going to bring you back top prospects from a team. And you get like some teams, because he's under control for 6 years or something like that. So you're going to get some other team's best 5 prospects or top 2 or 3 prospects or something like that. Cardinals don't really have that guy, so it's difficult to make that kind of move. But this is still a rebuild, whatever you want to call it. It just simply is that.
You bet. Mitchell says just wants to see individuals on the team that they are building around to take steps forward this year. 100%, Mitchell. You are right about that. Enrico Palazzo, always like to hear from Enrico, said, I need a trade today. I'm jonesing for one.
Well,
I could go for a trade today.
Yeah, I mean, let's have one a day.
Yeah.
Let's have one a day for the next 4 days while the winter meetings are going on.
Yeah, come on. Just a little trade. The Sonny Gray trade really started, I think, GM meetings maybe before that, just conversations with the Red Sox, and it developed. And now here we are with winter meetings well underway. Matt Pauley is there. Mike Claiborne will be covering things there this week. It's going to be a great week. Matt laid it out for you. Rush Hour. They're going to have a discussion of the winter meetings. Sports Open Line originates from the winter meetings. Then at 8 o'clock, I will take over from the Missouri Athletic Club tonight with the Jack Buck Sports Awards, the 56th. Great guest list tonight. Jordan Bennington, Jim Hart, John Rooney, Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr., Matty DiMaria. Presenters are Jackie Smith, Mike Liute, Mike Claiborne, Ricky Horton. I mean, it's a heck of a group right there.
Dude.
And not to mention all the celebrities that'll be out in the crowd. I hear the chairman, Tom Stillman, will be there today. A lot of our representative, Wesley Bell, is going to be in the house tonight. You have celebs. The list just keeps coming. I keep getting texted the list, so I'm not going to reveal them all. We'll bust them out today at 8:06 when we take the air from the MAC. Can't wait for tonight. It's a great tradition at the MAC. It's sold out, big, loud crowd. They've had a few beverages, and they're going to have some fun tonight.
Beverages.
Yeah, downtown St. Louis,
tell me about
baby.
that.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can sneak you in.
Let's go.
We will come right back with one of the honorees. Bob Ramsey, the voice of the Billikens, is next on the Gashouse Gang. We're sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and we will be right back.
Weekdays at 5, it's Rush Hour Sports on KMOX. Hot stove blazing. College football bowl season heating up. College basketball teams making their final prep for conference play. NFL teams jockeying for playoff positions. And the latest in Cardinals baseball and Blues hockey. Fast updates, instant analysis, 0 wasted seconds. St. Louis sports, all of it. Delivered right at Rush Hour. Rush Hour Sports, weekdays at 5 on KMOX.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing. Whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Give the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Right now, it is 32 degrees and mostly sunny in St. Louis. The high will be 33. The weather brought to you by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Stolen away by McCautry. He wants the drive, the runner, the alley-oop, jam time! Oh my gosh! Oh baby! That is an unbelievable dunk over the defender. McCautry, the lob to Kellen Dames.
I heard that call live as I was driving back from Indiana to St. Louis. The voice of the Billikens, Bob Ramsey, joining us on KMOX's Gashouse Gang. His reports are sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. What's up, Rammer? What a play that was.
Hey, gentlemen, it was really a shocking play in that, as you know, as a play-by-play guy, you're following the ball, right? And Earl pointed out in the ensuing commentary that he saw as Thames trailed the play, he pointed up, and McCautry somehow saw him, and as he got to the rim, just sort of flipped it up in the air. Kellen Thames, one step inside the free throw line, leaped over the defender, grabbed it, and threw it down. It was stunning. For our listeners that are a little bit older, Earl and I both look like Fred Sanford having our heart attack, and it was those are the kinds of spectacular things that you see almost game in and game out from these Billiken players, and obviously in particular Kellen Thames.
This is, and that's a perfect example of how athletic this team is.
Yeah, Ron, you're right. It was you got what he does. You have what McCautry does around the rim. Quentin Jones, his 3-point shots come along, but it doesn't take away from the fact that he's a great defender, long and athletic, and can go to the rim and dunk. And what's really fun about this group of athletes, they're sharing the ball with each other, where they could go for a layup, but they get an opportunity to set up a teammate for something spectacular. It makes it really fun to watch.
107-65 win over Central Michigan. You got to go back to the 94-95 team to find a team that's had 3 100-point games. I got to assume they're going to have a lot more than that, even though this is early in the season, Rammer.
Well, I don't know. You hate to predict on performance, but I know the effort will be there. You know what's funny about the 107 is that on the last handful of games, the 3-point shooting has tapered off just a little bit. You still have Trey Green and Rob Avila hitting at a high level, but so I really think that the 3-point shooting as a team will get even better. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the sky's the limit on what this team can do night in, night out. Although they're averaging, 91 points a game, that's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned Robbie Avila, and when he got here last year with Josh Schertz coming over from Indiana State. I mean, I talked about him a lot. That we saw his performance prior to that, and he has an it kind of thing. It's like you're going to love watching this guy. You're going to love watching him, and we know he had the injuries that he dealt with last year. But because this team is so good and so athletic, it's not just him. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not necessarily the focal point.
And I think part and parcel to what you're saying is that with Robbie, less is more. He's scoring about 5 points a game less than he did last year, but I think he's shooting it better. His assist numbers are up, and as I thought, it took a couple of games, but I thought he would lead the team in assists, and he currently does. And I think those are the kinds of things that he's more than happy to facilitate the offense and set up teammates. And I think leading by example helps the entire team to be unselfish. And that's absolutely what Josh Schertz requires.
What about defensively? How have they been this season? What does Coach think about them, Rammer?
Well, there's been some ups and downs, but overall, in my opinion, very good. One thing that there were a couple of hiccups along the way in November where not guarding straight line drives, slow to recover and guard the 3-point line as well as Coach Schertz would like. But I think some of those things are being cleaned up. But as a long season goes on, you always have to pay attention to those kinds of things because they can slip. A really good defensive team can have a bad night, or a couple of key guys defensively can have a bad night. So it's something that has to be continually addressed.
I know, Rammer, we've talked about this and where SLU stands within the conference in the A-10 because play doesn't start for a while before they start playing teams within their own conference. But you look at Ken Pom and, they're pretty comparable to VCU, at least there. I think VCU is just a couple of spots above where SLU is at the moment. But, I mean, when do you feel like you start to get an idea of just how good this team actually is? Even though they're 8-1 right now, looks pretty good. But when you compare them to everybody else,
I'll tell you the next real litmus test for them will be Saturday right here on KMOX.
Yeah, San Francisco.
When they take on San Francisco. San Francisco's been up and down and have a couple of disappointing losses. Not really sure what's going on with them. I don't think they're scoring as much as they thought they would. But going into the year, everyone kind of thought San Francisco would be right there behind Gonzaga and St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference. Like I say, they've stumbled a few times early, but they have a pretty good schedule. And they kind of ran St. Louis out of the gym in San Francisco a year ago. So I think I think we'll get a really good feel for where this team stands non-conference-wise, the Billikens I'm talking about, after the San Francisco game. And if it's good news coming out of that game, then you say, okay, now we'll start, we'll have a couple of more weeks in the holidays before we start to get into conference play. But that'll be a real good tester, I think.
How good is the Atlantic 10? Last thing here for Bob Ramsey. How good is the Atlantic 10? I see that SLU has a number 30 net ranking in the NCAA. That's pretty good. Is the rest of the conference up for a big year? Is there a chance you could get more than one in the tournament?
I think that is a stretch, and just for fun, and I do mean just for fun. It has very little meaning right now. Our buddy Joe Lenardi had a bracket out, I think today, and had SLU in it as the tournament champ. Now, we all know in conference tournament time anything can happen, but that's a fun little thing to talk about. But I think the usual, maybe not all the usual suspects, but VCU, Dayton, and SLU, I think are the three teams that you'll look at today in early December to be the teams to beat. Loyola inexplicably has fallen off the cliff. I can't figure that one out. And then Mark Schmidt, the head coach at St. Bonaventure, always figures something out. And the Bills will play at the Bonnies in January. So they could be a little bit of a dark horse in the Atlantic 10 race, I think.
And actually, I do have one other thing, because we talked early season, Rammer, about how if an at-large bid was going to even be in the conversation, they had to do really well in non-conference. And aside from that Stanford loss, which is like a last-second, Stanford's not a bad team either. Do you feel like they have accomplished that at least? Are they still kind of where they need to be in non-conference play, if that's to become a reality later, talking about the at-large bid?
I'll tell you what. I'll go back to Saturday against San Francisco. You don't want to overstate it, but if you want your resume to look as good as it can, you better win that game.
Okay.
Because if you've lost to Stanford and San Francisco, and your one good win, which hopefully will be a quad one, and it'll be a 1 or a 2, Santa Clara, I don't know that that's good enough on its own. And if you would happen to lose, you better make a heck of a run through the regular season in the A-10, which you hope to do anyway. But we're talking about putting together a resume. And I think the San Francisco game looms large on a number of levels. I really do.
Bob, tonight you and Earl Austin Jr. will receive the Burns Bragg Award at the 56th Jack Buck Sports Awards. I don't want to take anything out of your speech here, but tell the KMOX audience here this afternoon your feelings about receiving that tonight.
Well, I know Earl and I talked about it last night, and we're both really, really thankful to the MAC and all the folks who got involved there. I know, Tom Ackerman, you're involved at the MAC, and it's really meaningful to us because a lot of folks that are peers and really heavily involved in sports in St. Louis and the region, for them to think enough about you to honor you like that is it's really meaningful, really special. And you know what I love about it too is it's a team award, meaning Earl and I together, and that really means a whole lot to me. That we would be giving that recognition as a pair. And for the folks who will be attending, because there's only two of us, you get each of us talking half as much at the ceremony. So it's a win-win for everybody.
You take all the time you need. That's going to be your moment, and I can't wait to see you tonight. Can't wait to see you up on stage. It is going to be, as always, a great night in St. Louis sports. And congratulations, and we can't wait to visit with you tonight. It's going to be great. Bob, your visits on KMOX's Gashouse Gang are sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks of Missouri offers tailored commercial banking services, and it's designed to help your business go to the very next level. You'll have more than just a bank. Royal Banks of Missouri is a local partner invested in your success. Call 314-212-1500 for more details. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-830-4914. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-830-4914. That's 800-830-4914. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-830-4914 or biglou.com. That's 800-830-4914 or biglou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Got this one from Enrico as well, that Mizzou believes that Gates is going to get Mizzou basketball going. In football, there's Indiana talking about Cinderellas. When will it be Mizzou's turn? I get this one a lot. Indiana, the number 1 team in the nation right now. Last time Mizzou was number 1, 2007. I remember it well. I was at the game. They beat Kansas at Arrowhead Stadium, number 1 in the nation. And then in the Big 12 championship, Oklahoma smacked them down, and that cost them their opportunity to play for a national championship. At the time, there was not a college football playoff system like there is today. Missouri would have been in the CFP. As it turned out, yesterday when the teams were announced, it was an interesting feeling being at the top looking down. I actually got a congratulatory text from an Ohio State friend of mine, and I said, is this what it's like? Just kind of floating up here in the clouds looking at everybody? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. So the debate was at the bottom with Alabama, Notre Dame. Really between those two, Miami, Kevin Wheeler's Miami Hurricanes beat Notre Dame, so they had a case. And this all sort of went down when Duke beat Virginia, knocking them out. So that opened up another spot. Ultimately, they bounced Notre Dame. Notre Dame said, we're not going to play in any bowl then. We're done.
A lot of Schadenfreude today, isn't there? People love it when Notre Dame gets screwed.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Notre Dame fan, but pretty much everybody else loves it.
They've had a charmed life, although, they haven't won a title in a while.
It's been a long time.
So it's been
they've had the opportunity, but then they get stomped.
I think Alabama is the one that gets the preferential treatment. They have their own cheering section over at ESPN. You pretty much follow the money on this deal. ESPN's the SEC station, Fox is Big Ten, and Notre Dame doesn't have a conference.
Between
they're NBC.
I'm guessing between Alabama and Oklahoma, you're really hoping Alabama wins that game.
I am for two reasons. One, I think Alabama is not as good as Oklahoma.
Right.
I think Oklahoma's defense is great, and I think if Indiana played Oklahoma, it would be similar to the game you just saw in Indianapolis on Saturday, although Oklahoma doesn't have the offensive firepower that the Buckeyes do. They have a great defense. I think the top three defenses in the country are Indiana, Ohio State, Oklahoma. And Alabama, for two reasons. One, they can't run the ball, so they would be forced to throw. And Indiana would, I think, be able to score on them. But two, you want the brand. You want to play. This is the Indiana mission right now is just to go through everybody. Ohio State, check that box. Now it's time to play the signature team of the SEC, the Alabama Crimson Tide. That would be awesome. A Rose Bowl, Indiana, Alabama. Oh, baby, that would be incredible. But to go back to the question about Mizzou and why it doesn't happen to them, you just have to get everything right at the same time. And Indiana happened to find the best coach they could possibly find. Eli Drinkowitz is a good coach. Kurt Signetti is an exceptional coach who has not only done a great job on the field, but he's assembled a team that fits what he's done. And let's remember, he's done this now for a long time, just at schools that you don't know. IUP, Elon, JMU. And now he's doing the exact same thing that he's been doing since he was Nick Saban's assistant at Alabama and decided to take the plunge at age 50 or whatever he was. He decided to go be a head coach, and he has created a machine of a program. And that's just the end of it.
Well, let me tell you something, buddy. I am more than happy for you.
Thanks.
I mean, you came into the office, and I said this to Tom, because he had a good football day yesterday, or this weekend. I didn't have a great football day yesterday. Hey, by the way, Illinois State Redbirds beating North Dakota State.
Yeah, how about the Redbirds?
North Dakota State is a monster. Whatever Alabama and Georgia have been in the Big Boy Conference, the Big Boy section for the last several years, that's what North Dakota State has been at the FCS level. And Redbirds beat them in Fargo. So good for them. But yesterday, not so good for me. But Tom Ackerman walks in the office today. And it's like, imagine you've just been fired. You've been laid off. You just lost your job.
No, let's not get all dramatic.
Tom walks in the office.
Oh, my gosh.
Tom walks on.
The Bears lost a regular season game.
Listen, this guy comes in the office today. You've just been let go. Your livelihood is in jeopardy. You don't know what you're going to do. You have no other options. This guy walks in and goes, oh, man, that sucks. Well, I just got a raise. That was the equivalent.
No, it's not the equivalent.
Tom walks in.
You're talking about Indiana just won the greatest game in school history. And
I just lost my job.
Possibly completing with the greatest story in college football history. You lost a week 14 or whatever it is NFL game. I mean, who cares?
This is a Packer. What are you talking about?
Oh, whatever.
Packers.
You lost the Packers. You're still going to make the playoffs. You'll be fine.
You don't know that.
You're a half game out of
We went from the 1 seed to the 7 seed in one day.
I mean, come on. That's not even close
We're
to
in trouble.
That's not even close to being the same
falling apart.
thing.
Wheels are coming off, Tom.
Don't be so negative. You'll be fine.
It's over.
Eric Edgar says Texas Tech's defensive, he means defensive line, I think, is nothing to sneeze at. Now, you're right about that. I will give you that. Texas Tech has a great defense. Best defensive line money can buy. Those oil guys, boy, they'll tell you what, they bought some big boys on that Texas Tech defensive line. There's some big money.
That oil money gets you a lot.
There's some big money going through that program. But I will counter Eric by saying that they played in their last games: BYU, West Virginia, UCF, BYU, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, lost to Arizona State, Kansas, Houston. Utah's a good win.
Well,
I mean, it's not the same, but they are really good. They will give Oregon a lot to deal with.
Beyond the celebration of it, though, Tom, the everything that happened on Saturday, and as exciting as it was for Indiana, you've got to be, from the logistics standpoint, you got to be happy that if things go well in their first game, whoever they play, Alabama or Oklahoma, whatever, that you've drawn Texas Tech probably and not Georgia or Ohio State. Well, you wouldn't have gotten Ohio State,
Oregon,
Georgia.
I think Oregon will beat Texas Tech.
They might.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a rematch.
And you'd still rather play them.
Fine. Yeah, fine. And have Ohio State. And on the other side, have Ohio State and Georgia duke it out. And then you get to the championship.
That's right.
I like what Curt Cignetti said on the field after he raised the Big Ten championship trophy, and he thanked everybody, including the fans. He said, the second thing I have to say is, and he turned around so the players all could hear him, I got 3.5 weeks to humble these guys and get them hungry for the playoffs, because that's exactly what he does.
There you go.
He's going to send them right back down to earth today when they get back into that facility.
Well, congrats, buddy.
Thanks, man. It's been an absolute blast. We'll see you at the Jack Buck Awards tonight at 8 o'clock. For Chris Rongey, for Drew Young, for Frank Ladd, I'm Tom Ackerman. This has been the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling. SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Hi, Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, you've been helping families for more than 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and the end of the year is a good time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan. The time is now. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6000.